to in some of his press conferences that he is here to do a job, and once he is done, like the bird, he will fly away. But can he fly away from the heat Ghanaians are serving in the last 24 plus hours following revelations by the Attorney General that, look, you've asked that we bring in the former Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta, but it's been 2 months. We've been writing to you. We say bring us the docket, let's attach it and begin the extradition process. You haven't brought it. So if anybody asks, go and ask the OSP. They have failed to bring the docket. That's the latest in terms of government's much touted oral. This time, the front burners of the Office of the Special Prosecutor. And we're going straight into it. Quite a number of things we're going to clear up. First, we're going to walk you through the maze of the issues, the many issues that have culminated into where we are right now. Then we'll hear from the Deputy Attorney General who's been speaking on this matter. And all throughout yesterday up until this morning, the Office of the Special Prosecutor have issued releases and they have been speaking as well this morning. We'll try and listen in just briefly as well, crystallizing all the issues to you, and then you get to make up your mind as to who you can't believe and who you should be putting pressure on to get answers or some action from as well. But do be reminded that this show is very interactive. We're streaming live on Facebook. Our handles 3FM927. Same handles on Twitter as well as on YouTube 3FM92.7. Leave us a message on all of these matters that we're going to be bringing to you. You're a part of the discussion. Or you can send a personal message on Twitter using the hashtag 3FM Sunrise. And we'll do the reading for you. But let's get straight into it in terms of what it is that we know, that as of early June 2025, and for those of you who are watching on YouTube as well as on Facebook, you get the opportunity to follow through on what it is I'm walking listeners through as well this morning as to the starting point. And remember, this dates back to March, even March, before the June where Ms. Ofori-Atta was re-entered onto the red notice. We know that in somewhere March, the Office of the Special Prosecutor addressed that huge press conference, said, look, they had sought to have the former Finance Minister appear to answer a number of questions in relation to some corruption-related investigations which were underway. They entered his name on the Interpol red alert list or red notice, and quite the frenzy was on all international platforms. Mr. Ofori-Atta did not like it, had his lawyers right, said, look, he was out on medical duty seeking treatment for healthcare, and so he would return at an appointed date, amongst many other things. The Office of the Special Prosecutor took his name off the red notice from Interpol in wait for the fact that Ms. Ofori-Atta would return at the agreed time, which was the ending of the month of May, and to allow for investigations to continue into these 5 corruption-related matters, as we've been talking to you about, some of which include SML, the ambulance purchase saga, amongst many other things. Now, Ms. Ofori-Atta failed to appear at that scheduled or appointed time with the OSP, and it prompted him in early June, that's the Office of the Special Prosecutor, to re-enter Ken Ofori-Atta's name on the red notice from Interpol. Now, as at June 2, the OSP triggered the extradition process to the Chief of Staff at the Presidency. Now, the Chief of Staff on the 3rd of June, based off on letters which we have cited over the last few days on social media, transmitted the extradition request to the Attorney General, the central authority under the Mutual Legal Assistance Framework. And all of that plenty English simply means the Attorney General is the one singular institution that can begin extradition processes for any state agency in request of somebody outside of the jurisdiction who they want to appear and answer questions. And so the Chief of Staff did transmit this letter, and the Attorney General, per what we've seen as well, wrote to the Office of the Special Prosecutor confirming receipt of the request, and the Attorney General's office requesting two things: that the OSP sends 2 officers to join the prosecution team in terms of finalizing the processes for extradition, and then a copy of the investigative docket upon which they will begin the extradition processes. Now, the OSP replied, providing the names and contact of its 2 nominees and an update that the OSP was still organizing the case docket after a search and seizure operation at the offices of SML on the 10th of June 2025. Now, fast forward, September 2025, the Attorney General followed up requesting the docket again, and we haven't gotten word of whether or not there was correspondence. Then the leakages, which we're talking about, begin to make its way onto social media, and those of you who are on Facebook, you might have seen it amongst many other things, showing the communication between the 2 parties, the OSP, the Chief of Staff, and then the Attorney General. And so it's 3 parties actually, from when the OSP wrote to the Chief of Staff to when it was transmitted to the Attorney General, and then when the correspondence was reduced to just 2 parties between the Attorney General's office and the Office of the Special Prosecutor. The OSP denied responsibility for the leak and reaffirmed that it was not frustrating the extradition process. And this is where we are at in terms of all of the things that we know. And it remains so until yesterday, when the Deputy Attorney General, in a media interview, and we have to give credit to GH1 Television, in that media interview, said that they've been following up and there's been no word in terms of when the docket will be made available to them. Yes, Deputy Attorney General Dr. Sremsai speaking.
Mr. Kenofureta is a subject of a number of criminal investigations, right? I think the one that is popular is the one that the OSP is conducting. And also, that is the one that we are made to believe is in an advanced stage where extradition will be required. And indeed, the OSP has already put the person on red alerts, Interpol red alerts. What it means is that it's a notice to the whole world that this person is a wanted man. But the Interpol alert is not an extradition, procedure. So if we really want the person to come, we need to make an extradition request to where we believe he is, which is the US. Now, this is what's, and listen to me carefully on this. We are the only authority, that's the Attorney General Office, we are the only authority that can make extradition. But we need a docket from, an investigative docket from the OSP to be able to make these extradition requests. As of today, we still do not have a docket from the OSP. We have made several requests to the OSP, written letters, written demands to the OSP, asking that now that you've announced to the world that you are ready to have this person extradited, and there have been communication to that effect that even we've seen communication to the effect that the docket is ready and it's only the Attorney General that can make the. So we have been asking for the docket for a couple of, I think about 2 months now. We still do not have the dockets from the OSP. And so without the dockets, you cannot go to the American authorities and say, this is the person we want him. No, you need to show, because when they are asking for people to be extradited to the United States, they bring the full dockets of, as if they are going to court. And then we take that docket to court for the court to see whether there's really merit for, bringing the person down. We have to do the same thing. We also have to take a full docket of all the evidence and what we believe the law, and then we take it to the United States authorities, and they will process the extradition and bring it.
That's the Deputy Attorney General Justice Shremsai yesterday in that interaction with, and I say we'll give credit to GH1 Television where he spoke. But Samed Ako is the Director of Strategy, Research and Communication at the Office of the Special Prosecutor. He's been speaking on sister station TV3 this morning, seeking to explain away, amongst many other things, the many questions a number of you have been asking, and I've been reading comments where some are saying, look, the Office of the Special Prosecutor possibly should be collapsed and the budget made available to other state agencies. This, call me Alfredo, is one of our regulars here at Media General as well. So there's a lot of criticism on the Office of the Special Prosecutor, and even if you go on to various social media handles, that continues to pile up a lot of pressure. But let's hear from what Samed Ako and the explanation he sought to offer to Roland Walker a short while ago.
Really is the explanation.
Thank you very much for the opportunity. I don't think that there is any problem between the OSP and the Attorney General's office, except those who do not understand. The issue really is also not about a docket. The OSP, as you are aware, has been working tirelessly to bring Mr. Furiata back to Ghana. And it will not do anything that will frustrate all the months of the work that it has put together. When the OSC started this work, many people had very little faith that we could even put him on red notice. And if you take a look at the timelines and the things we have done, you will notice that we have done a very diligent work in ensuring that Mr. Furiata is brought back to Ghana. And the OSP is not going to allow this process to be politicized, because Ghana has one shot to bring back Mr. Furiata. And if we allow it to be politicized, our chances diminishes. And I'll tell you why. Two major things. The OSP is supposed to give to the Attorney General documents that the Attorney General can use to process the extradition. Now, this document is what people are referring to as docket. The OSP has not refused to give those information to the Attorney General. In fact, just September, although that information was not leaked, the Attorney General had written to the OSP and asking for even an incomplete investigation report. And the OSP has assured that it is boarding up the rest of the information, and as soon as it's ready, it will transmit to the Attorney General. So really, there is no issue. Unless you do not know the documents that are required for extradition, let me quickly go through some of them. One of the important documents you need for extradition is the arrest warrant. The OSP has the arrest warrant. And if you remember, I know that the media has not been covering it. Since we got the arrest warrant against Mr. Furiata, he has sued the OSP about 7-8 times. And the OSP since June has been battling these lawsuits alone in court, just to ensure that the arrest warrant remain valid. The next thing you will need is an Interpol red notice. The OSP worked tirelessly and secured the Interpol red notice. And the red notice is alive as we speak. Even as I talk to you, Interpol International has written to us to justify why it should continue to remain on it. And that is routine. Almost every 6 months, you have to justify why a person should continue to be on red notice. And people who don't know the meaning of red notice, it means that the OSP has effectively restricted the movement of Mr. Furiata. Hitherto, we have records that shows that he was crisscrossing America and London. But currently, as we speak, he cannot do that. And we know that he's currently somewhere in Maryland, Virginia, Washington. And so those who think nothing has been done, a lot has been done to even restrict his movement to one particular place. Now, there are other things you need to add to the extradition briefing, which is the offenses you have charged the person with. And then there's something called constitutionality. You need to justify whether the offenses here is the same as there. And then the most important thing that the American court will look at is the issue of the political character. political bias, witch hunt. You need to justify that the person is not being persecuted but being prosecuted for stated offense. It has nothing to do with politics. That is the most important one. And these other ones is the AG that will be justifying it. What we need to provide to the AG, we have majority of them. The only thing left is the fact that we said that we have discovered a lot, volumes of documents that we were analyzing to board up our charges against Mr. Furiata. And so we will finish with it. And these documents were the documents we retrieved from SML's office when we searched the SML's office. And we are saying that we need time to analyze these documents and add it. So it's not like I said, we have not given the Attorney General any briefing or any information that he needs to do it. We are only adding to it. And that cannot be construed to mean a delay or that we don't want to give anything to the Attorney General. So those who don't understand will always come and talk, docket. But it's not an issue of docket. It's an issue of our information.
Sami Darko, are you saying the Attorney General, Dominic Ayene, as well as his deputy, Sremsai, do not understand the processes you've explained? Is that the position of your office?
That is your position. And it's born out of a misunderstanding of what I've just explained to you. Because if you listen to me carefully, you notice that I've told you that whatever is being requested for is being given. So there is nothing that is not being given. And let me tell you something. Whoever leaked this information wanted what we are doing now. That's what the person wanted. Because you see, it's not all correspondence that was even leaked. If the person had added the other ones to it, there will be no need for this discussion. The storm in the teacup, because we have moved past where the release was up to. But what I'm telling you now is that it's not an issue about a docket. It's an issue about OSP putting documents in a file and giving it to the Attorney General to complete. Let me tell you something. Mr. Furiata is not the only one that OSP is investigating the SML matter. We have about 22 suspects.
Are they on red notice?
How can someone be on red notice if they are in Ghana? So we're talking, if you allow me to explain to you.
We are talking in this instance case relating to Ken Oforiatta, for which we've had a reaction from the Deputy Attorney General. And your explanation is that there seemed to be some miscommunication or a misunderstanding. And I'm saying that, is that the official position of the OSP?
Not said that.
Or do you not think that Sremsai, who is a Deputy Attorney General, doesn't understand the processes? Because in that interaction, this is what he says, Sami Darko. I want to make it clear. We, that's the office of the Attorney General, are the only authority that can initiate and make an extradition request. But we need the investigative docket from the OSP to do so. And he continues, Sami Darko, that as of today, we still don't have the docket, despite sending several requests, including written formal letters and demands. What are you saying, Sami Darko?
And that's what I've told you. You don't shout. Just take your time and listen.
I'm not shouting. I'm in my studio.
I know that your listeners and viewers will understand what I'm telling you. What the Deputy Attorney General said is what we have clarified for you. For instance, there has not been any several demand on us. You were just showing
Are you saying he's lying? Because this is a direct quote from the interview.
You were showing your viewers the various correspondence. So you notice that the correspondence started in June.
That's Sami Darko a short while ago as well with Roland Walker on TV3, where he's been explaining away of the many things, the pressure that continues to mount on the Office of the Special Prosecutor in relation to this particular subject matter. And I mentioned as well, there was a release that came from the office some 14 hours ago yesterday, and that's about the dead of the night yesterday, in relation to what it is that we're expecting the Office of the Special Prosecutor to be doing. From all of the conversations we've been hearing, the OSP says that they are expecting the dockets to make its way to Mr. Oforiatta by close of week today. I'll subject this to a bit more in terms of the perspective. I've been joined on the telephone line this morning by Osman Al Hassan, He's a private legal practitioner, and Mr. Richard Kumado. Gentlemen, thank you very much for joining us this morning here on the 3FM Sunrise.
You're welcome, man.
Let me start off with you, Mr. Osman Al-Hassan. I want to bring the legal perspective into all of the things that we've seen. Shy of not asking you what you make of this, but it does appear there is great dissatisfaction in terms of the work that is being put in by the Office of the Special Prosecutor. From the reaction alone to that press release or to the speech yesterday by the Deputy Attorney General, there's pressure on the Office of the Special Prosecutor to deliver, and there's a suspicion growing fast and strong that he's not doing enough.
Well, good morning and good morning to your listeners. I actually, having heard the response of the Special Prosecutor to the Attorney General's concern about the forwarding or transmission of dockets, honestly, if you can apprise me of that, I will be grateful. But for me, I don't think the Special Prosecutor should have been silent for this long and only come to tell us something only after the Attorney General has raised concerns. In the first place, I don't think those concerns were necessary, because this is an institution that draws its powers of prosecution from the Attorney General. And so many other things are there that the Special Prosecutor may not be able to do to further prosecution without the assistance of the Attorney General. And the Special Prosecutor, the expectation of the general public, which is also my expectation, was for the Special Prosecutor to come to us and tell us the challenges he was facing in the Ken Ofori-Attah's case, long before any concern would be raised. What are the challenges being faced by the Special Prosecutor in respect of the case involving Ken Ofori-Attah? Because the last thing I heard as a person, was a certain date given by the Special Prosecutor for Ken Ofori-Attah to come and answer his interrogations. I believe the date has elapsed.
He elapsed a long time ago, actually, and that's why he put him back on the red notice.
No, but putting it on the red notice, does it finalize everything about Ken Ofori-Attah? Is that the last or the final thing that the Special Prosecutor can do? Is that the optimum of his effort to get Ofori-Attah, put him on red alert? No. The law spells out several things. I mean, there must be challenges that he faces, and if he faces those challenges, he should not sit on the challenges. He has to come out with them and seek assistance from appropriate quarters. It is not an institution in isolation, especially that it is doing the work or part of the work a particular institution is mandated constitutionally to do. So if you are having challenges, you have to come out. Now, it became worse when all of a sudden we as the public have to hear from the Attorney General that the Attorney General, rather, who's probably why do we even set up the Special Prosecutor's Office in the first place? Because we set it up to expedite certain prosecutions of particular offenses, because we don't want the Attorney General to be saddled with too many cases and give us this targeted progress of prosecution. They say justice delayed, justice denied. I mean, so we set up the Special Prosecutor's Office first to minimize the influence of political decisions in the prosecution and to speed it up. And that is why we have given it all this. So if the Attorney General itself now is proactive in wanting to prosecute the matter, and the Special Prosecutor is the one charging the progress, it is out there. I don't think the purpose of the special prosecutor has been fulfilled.
I'll have us listen in to a bit more in terms of the clarification that the Office of the Special Prosecutor had to offer, because you said you've not listened to him, and then I'll get reactions. But let me get onto the other phone lines and speak to Mr. Commodore, because the other leg of this conversation is what the OSP says is investigations they are yet to round up to add to the docket and hand over to the Attorney General, because there was a search warrant. They undertook a search at the offices of SML where they said they discovered more evidence, which they are working on to ensure that they can include that. Mr. Commodore is a fraud and security expert. He's a security expert as well, and so he will have a bit more in terms of helping us understand the processes of investigation. Mr. Commodore, is 2 months a good enough time to have rounded up these investigations? And if you are to include it in a docket, we should have been seeing the OSP do that, because now that's the explanation they are offering as to why over the last 2 months they've not been able to transfer the dockets to the AG for processes to be finalized for the extradition of Ms. Ofori-Atta.
So there are two things involved. Some investigations can take a shorter period to be completed. Others can take a longer period. It depends on the investigation resources, depends on the competencies of the investigators, it depends on the legal regime, and it depends on what the prosecutor will want to achieve if prosecution is on the table. So that are some of the things that may take a little bit time for certain specific investigations to be completed. When you look at Ken Ofori-Atta's case, it's a work in progress. So they have done bits and pieces of what they are looking for. Delaying it is another thing. But Mona, this is the thing. The Attorney General is the number one prosecutor in this country. And for you to be dilly-dally and be dragging your feet when the Attorney General is asking for the docket, that is problem. That is problematic. And that is not a good thing to do. I have also maintained that as part of standard procedure, several investigation agencies can investigate the same case on the same wavelength, and it will not adversely affect the investigation outcome. The day I heard my brother Justice saying that they want to narrow it down to individual institutions, I knew we were going to fall into this ditch. And so this is where we are. Remember, the BNI and the police have one of the finest investigators in this country. And using their expertise and the resources available to them, it gives you a broader view, and it gives you chances of running up investigations as quickly as possible. And so that is where we are, and it is something they have to deal with. Why the delay, I have explained, but what is unfortunate is when the Attorney General, the number one prosecutor in this country, is asking for a crime docket and you are dilly-dallying, I don't think it's right. Purposefully, I agree with what the lawyer said before you put me on. Why did we establish the Special Prosecutor's Office? They are not meeting the objectives, and I think it's becoming something of a burden, and that is why people are raising issues of credibility and lack of trust for them.
Issues of credibility and of trust for them. But I hear you on how long these investigations can take, and we're not going to be seeking to make any assumptions whatsoever, but considering sometimes the interest expressed by different individuals on a particular subject matter, does it put pressure on investigators to hurry up the process of investigation so that they can make progress?
Not at all. We are investigators and we work under pressure. So before you join, one of the questions they ask you, can you work under pressure? We say yes. And pressure is what we work with. And we have lived under pressure for many years. Take this particular case, for instance. The police, there might be some aspect of the investigation that you will need the police. There might be some aspect of the investigation that you will need the BNI. You will need immigration. You will need all the other agencies within the investigation arena. To the extent that the Special Prosecutor's Office is not talking about some challenges they are facing and where those ones are coming from. Again, they are not talking about what reliance and what is the procedure for relying on other investigative bodies for input. Then it becomes presumptuous. Other than that, they have done pieces and pieces of this job, and by now, whatever work they have done and whatever percentage they have, once Attorney General requests for the docket, he's not saying that you should close down the investigation. Give us the docket, let's look at what you have done. Have you done 80%? Have you done 70%, 90%? Can we use that as concrete to initiate the extradition procedure? Yes or no? But then if you read the special prosecutor's letter, I think in the place they are fighting the Attorney General. They are saying that the case has nothing to do with the Attorney General, and the Attorney General is not part of it. And that will also be one of the reasons why they delay in sending the docket. And I think that line in there creates an impression that they are island on their own and they are fighting the Attorney General. I have always maintained for the 29 years in this investigative arena, we can work together as investigative agencies and it gets the job done as quickly as possible.
All right. Let's hear from Sammy Darko one more time, and he's been speaking a lot more in terms of what their justification is and the explanations he's seeking to offer when he spoke to my colleague Roland Walker just a short while ago as well. Also, so that lawyer can listen into some of the things that's been coming from them. Then I come back to the both of you for quick responses.
Yeah, and I'll do it quickly. I mean, when you are in public service, there are a number of things that will happen. But I'm happy he said that he's not a lawyer. The one I wanted to correct was that I said that Interpol red notice restricts a person's movement. And I've used that. We know from intelligence that he used to move from America to London. But once you issue a red notice, he's unable to move and that he's confined in America. And I said the area we know he is. The reason why we have requested extradition to US and not to say UK is because we know he's in US. So it's not an issue now. We are not dealing with whether we know where he is or where he's not, except that the Interpol in that country is the one that will effect the arrest with us when extradition goes through. The second one he said that I want to clarify is the part that he talks about the fact that if Mr. Furiata has been battling OSP in court, it means we know his address. Just for information, yes, Mr. Furiata has filed over 8 suits challenging the arrest warrant that we secured, which the Attorney General is going to use, including the red notice, which the Attorney General is going to use. But in Ghana, he uses his Ghanaian address, which is allowed by law. And his lawyers are the ones that represent him in court, which is also allowed by law, because those processes are civil actions, human rights actions that he's taking to block it. So let me reiterate the point that the OSP is committed to bringing Mr. Furiata back. And they said that I was not able to answer a question as whether the stream side was accurate or inaccurate. I'm not the one to say it's accurate or inaccurate. I'm providing you with the other version which you have not heard. And I've said that even with the leak, there's a third letter that they did not put out there. And that third letter would have dispelled all these. What we are saying is that the fact that we said we have uncovered fresh evidence when we searched the offices of SML, and that we need to add up so that we're able to get more charges, does not mean that the OSC is delaying or refusing to give the information that the AG needs. Okay. And it also does not invalidate the fact that Mr. Shem Sai says that, or Dr. Sai says that the OSC has not given him the docket. Yes, we are saying that the docket will go to him. And in this case, I said I want to say a docket. We mean all the relevant information that is needed to tender in an American court. That is what we are giving to them. And I have also said that it does not mean that we have not given them some. I told you that we are in the stage of the offensive requirements, which we just want to add a few to it and then send to him. So there is no delay. There is no confusion. There is no fight between us. The fact that he has come up because journalists have gone to him to ask where the stage you have reached. And OSP has been briefing Ghanaians all this while. When we talk, you say we talk too much. When we keep quiet to work, you say we are conniving with people. Okay. It's preposterous to even say that the special prosecutor has a relationship and then you also say you can bring somebody down in 1 week. Sedinam Tamaklu has been convicted. She's supposed to be brought down to Ghana to serve just a sentence. Conviction is done. Do you know why she's not here? Let's go back to the issue of political bias. When you are getting extradition in the U.S. court, it's a major requirement. And when I say that, it doesn't mean that we think people don't know or we are disrespecting people or anything. All we are saying that there is no bad blood. It's a process, and we will get there. We have not delayed. I don't know who even says we have delayed. This has been a very difficult proceedings, and we have been working diligently to get this done. People and men at OSC have been working.
You said that already. Thank you for the clarification.
And so, Mr. Kumado, that's Sami Dakun, when he spoke just a short while ago, says there's no bad blood, there's no delay. You've heard him. Does he answer your concern as to that line in the statement which you said may reveal that they are an island on their own, they are seeking to work alone, and they might have an issue with the office of the Attorney General?
I think they are coming into the public space too much. They are fighting. Everybody can see they are disagreeing among themselves, which is not too necessary at all. As investigators, investigation is what we do. And if the state want to prosecute, then the state go to court. Before the state go to court, the state want to be mindful that the evidence they are presenting at court will be admissible, which will help their cause in terms of the processes. And to that extent, they are the leading investigator in this particular case. Whatever they have to do to work with the Attorney General's Department, who is the number one prosecutor of this country, they need to do it, unless they should stop coming to the public space and be fighting. I think we like fighting one another too much. We should concentrate in doing the job. If the BNI is the one investigating this case, you wouldn't hear many of these things. They would have given the docket to the Attorney General by now. If it is the police, they would have given it to him by now. And if the job is done 70%, 80%, 90%, they take a decision. Do we run with this while we are taking care of the other ones? What we have so far, don't we have charges? Can we prefer those charges? Because you know that when you are charged, as the case travel along, some charges may be dropped and new ones may be added, or it may be reviewed. If you follow prosecution in this country and any part of the world, that is what is done. So I don't know exactly why they seem to be fighting and they don't want to do what they are supposed to do. I think the Special Prosecutor's Office, that whole department will have to be reviewed again, and let's find out whether it's meeting purpose or not. And if not, we can channel the same resources to other investigative agencies who have served this country and saved this country many years, and we get the job done.
You feel the OSP is not doing enough after the office was created some 5+ years ago?
Ask yourself, why was it created? Political talk, political promise. They set it up, created an act which gives problem to the office holder. You remember when Sisi Ajambe went for vetting? His vetting was one of the beautiful ones in this country. He took time, and those vetting him, they all agree that even the act that set up the special prosecutor have issues in relation with the Attorney General's Department. Today, some of those issues are coming to the fore. We set it up as a political promise. My uncle Matamidu could not survive. Then Sisi Ajambe came. When you look at some of the methodologies he said he was going to use, he has been using some of them. But I can tell you, we are investigators. We don't do public relations. We investigate and make sure criminals are prosecuted. And that is what we expect from the Office of the Special Prosecutor. Until that is done, then the bystanders who are raising issues about the competency and the effectiveness of the office and whether they should continue using the taxpayers' money for funding, they have the right to answer those questions.
Right. Lawyers rejoined us on the phone. And lawyer, I don't know if you were able to catch excerpts of the explanation Mr. Sami Dakun was offering just before we lost you on the telephone line. But he says that no bad blood. Investigations are continuing. They will make the dockets available to the Attorney General within this week. And that they are doing all they can because this is a process where they've continued to update the public all through. In fact, he says that when they go quiet, Ghanaians complain. When they talk, you say they are talking too much. Hello, Counsel.
Yes, I'm here.
Yes, so I'm asking if what you make of his justification and explanations as he's been providing it.
You mean the special prosecutor?
Yes, the special prosecutor.
Well, I didn't hear the explanation that you said they gave, but the whole this whole thing for me is not. I see it as a challenge that the special prosecutor is facing. Now, this is not about prosecution. I hear someone say that the Attorney General has nothing to do with the case. That's really unfortunate. There's no law that can divorce the Attorney General completely from any prosecution at all. They have the mandate to prosecute, and they cede off part of the mandate for any institution to prosecute. Not even Parliament can take a particular case completely from the Attorney General in terms of prosecution. But be that as may, it's not yet about prosecution. It is about getting the accused person before you to even start prosecution. And if you can't do that, and there is an institution that can do that, let's even assume it's not the Attorney General's office. If there is an institution which can help you to get the accused person before you to face his interrogation and for you to gather sufficient evidence to prosecute, you should be doing that. You should engage such an institution. And that's why institutions of state are supposed to work together. But if you sit there and then you are creating a turf war, with the Attorney General, which has the mandate, the constitutional mandate to even prosecute, they ask you for the docket to assist in the extradition process for you to have your accused person. And that warrants a statement that the Attorney General has nothing to do with the case, which is even legally wrong. I don't think that's where we should be. There's a need for a genuine exertion of effort by all institutions in this regard.
Right.
Genuine exertion of effort.
Right.
It's not for it to appear to the public that we are doing something. That's not what we want as Ghanaians. We want genuine effort. And if you are exerting genuine effort for a particular goal of national interest and you face challenges, you will let us know. And you will go to the next institution that has the power or authority to assist you in that regard.
Right.
Yes.
Let me round up with you, Mr. Kumado, just finally. I think I'll ask the question for the both of you. I'll start off with you, lawyer, and then Mr. Kumado, you have the last word. The expectation is that by the close of this week, the docket should make it to the Attorney General. Confident it will happen, and what will be your expectation after that docket makes it to the AG this week? I'll start off with you, Counsel. Hello, Counsel.
Hello?
Yes, I'm asking you of your expectations of the OSP and the Attorney General now that the OSP says that he'll make the docket available by close of week today.
So what's the question?
What are your expectations? Are you expecting that docket will make it by close of week? And if it does, what are the steps forward that we'll be looking forward to the Attorney General carrying through to see the extradition efforts begin officially?
Well, our expectation is simple: for them to keep to their word. Because there's no need, in any event, the information we get from the Attorney General is that the requests have been made. Several requests have been made. The point is, even if you have any genuine reason for not transmitting the records, can't you formally, out of deference to the Attorney General, reply and say those things? I don't think if those things were formally addressed and some demonstration were made to the Attorney General that, okay, we are making some effort to make things better for you, this wouldn't have happened. So if
all of a sudden they can make it available in 1 week. That is good news, but we actually want them to fulfill their promise by making it available to them. And they should stop giving excuses, because building the docket for any reason and transmitting it to the AG for extradition processes are completely two different things. Any step that can be taken to make the docket better for prosecution can always happen. Yes, at any time.
Right.
But for the docket, your charges, your primary facts and evidence, that convince you to even put the man on the red alert.
Right.
It's what the Attorney General needs. So I expect that they make it available, and I expect the Attorney General to also do what it has to do for us to have this public accounting of people in authority.
Right. I appreciate you speaking to us, Lawyer Osman Al-Hassan. Let me round up with you as well, Mr. Kumado, just quickly.
No, when the special prosecutor send a docket to the Attorney General for purposes of prosecution, the Attorney General is going to study the docket and see whether has all the T's be crossed and the I's be dotted. And where there are lapses or where there are issues, they will ask them to go back to the field, or they will assign another investigative agency to go back to the field and make sure they cross it up. So if you listen to what the lawyer just said, he said the docket for prosecution can be upgraded and updated at any time. And that is one of the reasons why the Attorney General is asking for the docket. And now the Attorney General said, I will initiate the initiative for extradition. The special prosecutor said, no, I'm the one. I have started already. They need to close that chapter and come to the same space. Then my brother Justice Sai must also know that you cannot try same person on same crime in Ghana. So they have to be watchful the cases special prosecutor pursues and the level at which he does. Other than that, as investigators, several things can happen, and that is what they need to watch against. Thank you.
Thank you as well, Mr. Kumado. That's Richard Kumado. He's a fraud and security consultant speaking to us this afternoon here on the 3FM Sunrise. And that's the first part of the conversation done. Let us know what you make of it. We're streaming live on Facebook. Our handles 3FM927. Same handles on Twitter as well, 3FM927. And we're going for a quick spot of commercials. When we return, I have a special guest in studio for a special conversation this morning. But before we do that, it's a winning season again, and this time it's not just chasing wins, it's about collecting them. The luckiest is back again, bigger and better, with chances to change your life. Let me show you 2 easy ways to get in the game. First, grab your phone and dial *712#. Choose option 1 to buy a ticket for yourself, or option 2 to buy for someone else. If you want the system to generate a lucky ticket for you, go with option 1 again. Prefer to choose your own ticket number? That's option 2. Confirm your payment with Momo and you're in. Now, the online way, head to theluckiestafrica.com and register. Tap on community tickets to either pick your own ticket or let the system choose one for you. You can buy a ticket for somebody else as well. When it's time to pay, you use Momo. But if you're outside of the country, use your card. One ticket can multiply your money by 500 times more. Your entire community could win 10 times more and over. It's your golden chance. Hop on and let's get lucky together, because